Welcome back to the Let's Talk podcast with your hosts Ray and Kay. And yeah, guys, it's a brand new year, and it just had us thinking about like how old we're getting now.
Yeah.
Time is really flying, and it had us thinking about just a few years ago we were kids. It's crazy to think
Yeah, it's
that
crazy.
time flew so much. Okay, so let's get into it. So, what was your favorite childhood memory? Pretty deep question, eh?
Isn't
Yeah. Like, what's your favorite? The one that you favor the most?
the most, I
Okay.
think.
Yeah. You can pick maybe two or three.
Maybe like just coming home to like all of our family together. Like after we all come from like school and my parents come from work and we just have like a chill sesh where we like laughing and just like chilling.
Coming home from school with the family all around. I think that's always the best kind of memory, eh? When everyone's around you, and I think that's really nice. For me, my best childhood memory would. I actually don't know. It would be
just like
strange
it.
to say I don't know. My the one that I favor the most is basically the people that I had in my life, all the memories of that, where I had my grandfather who's late now that used to take us like out everywhere with my granny and all of that. That was like my best memory because I don't have him anymore.
Yeah.
So to me, I store that memory, and I've got one picture of one of those moments that I keep with me still. And it's pretty crazy that was probably one of the best memories ever because I remember everything that happened on that day to the max. And it was just a day of us going to the park and, playing, my brother and I and my grandfather. So that was one of the best memories I could say I have. Yeah. Right. So since we shared our memories, well, one of the best ones that we have, can you share a significant lesson you learned during your adolescence or during the time you were growing up, teenager days, and all of that? What's the one lesson you?
I think it's the same lesson that I say all the time, which is things are temporary. And I carry that with me till this day. Like anything that's going on, I always think this is going to pass. You know what I mean? Like anything that I might be doing, I have that in mind. Like this bad moment right now or this difficult task is going to just like be a memory one day. And that's like something that I carry with me.
And why do you carry that with you? What made that happen? Or what situation brought you to that?
I think obviously bad situations growing up that like I thought was bigger deal than it was at the time, and then along my years I realized that like those things are like in the past and I don't even think about it. It doesn't even bother me and it hasn't really affected me as a great deal that I thought it was at the moment.
So it wasn't as big as you thought, but it affected
Yeah.
you some way or another. Well, with me, I could say the one thing that I carry in my life that I learned from my adolescence is not to be too, um, how can I say it? Don't have or don't. Let me just share the story, right, so I can explain this properly. So I've been like, I used to in my teenage days walk around, be like unconscious of my surroundings all of the time,
Yeah.
and yeah, I almost got like robbed a few times because of that, because I never really thought of the situation or the place that I'm in. So I think I learned vigilance. That's one thing, to be more vigilant with my surroundings and all of that. And another thing that I could say that I learned is how to be more of a person that cares,
Yeah.
because my family, when we were growing up, it was such a warm place. Now everyone was so like loving and all of that, and that's something that I value. It's something that I learned in my life, just to be a nice person and love the people that you have in your life, and always try to keep that homey vibe going on, that warm home vibe. I mean, that's just what I
We had
learned
to give
from it.
more than one reason.
More than one reason. No, I mean, if you have any other ones, you know
Uh, what else? I think that everything has its time and its place, and you don't have to rush into doing things. And if something's meant to be, that it will happen. And if it's not, it's like for the best.
Oof. Now that you're saying that now if things are meant to be, it'll happen. You know, when I was small, I had no patience. I wanted what I wanted, and my mother would be like, "No, you can't have that. It's not yours. We can't get it now. Have patience." So I don't know if it relates to the same thing, but it's just something I thought I'd share.
I used to feel like if I get excited about something, like if it's my birthday and I'm excited, and I'll be like, no, I'm not going to feel excited, because if I feel excited, it's going to like go by faster. So like even if we're going out, I'll be like, I'm not going to get excited, but I'm not going to get excited. I'll force myself like not to feel excited, just because I was thinking it's going to like go by so fast, and I didn't want like the day to go fast.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
It doesn't make any sense, okay?
Okay,
But in my
but
small mind, I was like, I don't know.
you thought it might make sense at that
Yeah,
time.
I was like, yeah, it's gonna happen fast if I'm more excited about it.
Jeez, how old were you that time? Like, what was that year?
Primary school or something.
So you're probably like 8, 9.
I
10,
don't know. I just
up until you were
remember
13.
like that thought that stuck with me.
That's so true. Yeah, no, I understand.
So, were there any challenges that you faced during growing up that shaped the way you are today?
Yeah, I can say that there were a lot of challenges that I faced that other people might face as well. You know, I don't like, for the longest time, I thought I was the only person that faced the type of challenges that I was facing at that time. And for me, when I was in primary school, right, the challenges that I faced was my attention span, which always got messed up while I was trying to do stuff in school, right? So I had like, I used to like drawing, and I didn't really like doing work much. So my attention would have left me at that time. Like I'd get the teacher there for the first 5 minutes if they're boring me, or even 3 minutes if I'm becoming bored. I'll bring out a book and start drawing or something, you know. And that was a problem because it messed me up when it came to me being able to focus on something for quite some time. And you know, I just decided that as I grew older, I need to start focusing and learning how to not have such a short attention span, because having a short attention span doesn't allow you to like focus on anything and get anywhere. You know, you just don't get things done. You know?
Do you think that maybe it wasn't your attention span, you just weren't interested in what was taught to you? And now that you're doing only what you like doing, do you like put your attention on it?
Yeah, I think, you know, you might be just right over there, because I don't think I liked what I was learning. And one of them were languages. You know, I don't like learning languages because when am I going to speak these languages at all? I still speak English all of the time. Like, it's just my language. No diss to the people that speak other languages, you know, I just mean
Very
like,
impressive.
it's impressive. It's a good thing. It's just that for me, I didn't like it because I couldn't understand it at that time. And I
So
was
that's
small.
like the only challenge that shaped you.
Well, not that. Another thing would be like public speaking. Right. I could never do something like this if I was
Yeah.
a kid still. I'd never come here, sit in front of a camera or with mics and talk, you know, in front of an audience. Please subscribe to the channel, guys. Don't forget. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that if I didn't learn how to be better at speaking to people and presenting and all of that. And that was something I lacked, because in primary school, when I had to go up in front of the class and they wanted me to do a speech, I'd completely freeze. Like, I'd just stand there. I'd just stand and look at everyone. No movement. Nothing used to come out of my mouth. I was just super silent. And that's the thing, you know, with some people that I'm sure a lot of you guys know that feeling. where you just can't speak publicly because you're afraid to, or you're afraid that people might laugh at you or something of the sort. And that's something that I learned that I can't do all the time. So now I just speak whenever, and I don't care who you, I don't care anymore because people don't care. They don't really care much as I thought.
That's true.
Yeah. And you?
Challenges.
What would be the challenges that you...
Thinking. I was like so concentrated on what you were saying. I
It's
forgot
okay.
my turn was gonna be next. But I think that when growing up, the most challenging thing that like for me was like I felt like I was different from everybody else, especially since like I'm mixed race and not many people were mixed the way that I was mixed. So for me, I was like different, and people like used to always question, "Oh, what are you? Your hair?" You know what I mean? And that like was one of I was just like, why is people like always making me feel like I'm like so different or something?
Like
out
an
there?
alien.
Yeah. And that because and then later on when I went to high school, I went to like an Indian kind of school, and then it like transferred to like, oh, why don't you straighten your hair? Oh, you should use this face products, yada yada, stuff like that. But now it's like a strength for me that I'm like, I use it to my power. I'm like, okay, I'm different, I'm unique. And I
Yeah.
think that's so empowering for me personally, that I like being different. I like that it's okay. Maybe like people that are watching, you're like, oh no, I see like million people like you or whatever. But like where I'm from, like not many people are like that. And only like recently do I be around mixed people because of you. But like besides that, like I found so much power in being unique and
Yeah.
being different and not following the trends or people telling me what I should be doing and oh my hair should be straight. And I'm so proud that I didn't like fall for so many things that were being shoved down our throat, like forcing us to be normal. And now it's like a strength. So I like that.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right, definitely. Because in school,
Yeah.
they do a lot of that. You get people that just want to like criticize you and whatnot because you're different. And the funny thing is, the people that are always different always bloom when school is done. Not all the time, but most of the time. Most of the time, it's those little
It's like
differences.
depends how you use it to
Yeah,
your
it-
advantage or whether you're gonna like change that thing about you that makes you different and makes you unique.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be an insecurity. I think it should be a flex.
I don't think it was ever insecurity. Like I always remember how special my mother made me feel about it. Like, oh, you God's favorite, that's why you have curly hair. Oh, you God's favorite, that's why he didn't make you like look like these people. And that's like always stuck with me. So I never felt insecure. So don't get me wrong, I was like never insecure. I never felt bad. It's just like something that I remember that stuck with me and making me feel like I was different. So yeah.
And it shaped you today because now you're the
now
bomb.
I'm dope.
That's for sure. Right. So, how did your family influence your upbringing? Can you like share some of that with us? A lot of people have families that influence their upbringing. So, what is yours? Share that. Let's go.
Okay. I think one thing about us is that we are now diverse due to my mother, obviously. But we have like such an understanding of different groups of races that we see everybody as people. And if like it's different from like if you have an Indian family and they like to pick and choose what races have stereotypes and stuff. But when it comes to our family, we like see people for them as humans instead of, oh, this is your race, this is your race. And that like obviously because of us being like the first generation of mixed people.
In your family.
Yeah, in my
First
family.
generation of mixed people in the family. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's-
So
yeah.
I think that played a part in like me humanizing people first before looking at them because of like their skin or other factors, basically.
That's true, and that's actually a good thing, because people need to see people as humans nowadays and not by skin color and all of that.
And like my
Such an
father,
issue.
whenever we're around him, he'll talk to anybody like anybody, whether you like low class, high class, he treated everybody the same. So that's one thing that also second stuck with me, like to not only favor people that are up there, that seem up there, or like you, like, oh, because you're high, I'm gonna like suck your ass or something like that. You know, that's like what we say here, like just sucking your ass, like that's
Yeah.
So that's another thing that I learned, like to, you know, don't be humble, have
humble.
humility, and I think I am humble. So yeah.
That's a good one. Oh, okay. With me, I think when growing up, a lot of things influenced my upbringing. Like I could say from a personal point of view, I have a lot of respect for people, right? And that respect was taught to me by my stepfather, right?
Yeah.
He taught me respect and drilled it into me, you know, till the point where I can't disrespect someone, and now I don't see the need to do it. And it's so funny that kids nowadays don't have that, you know.
I don't even understand
They
that
have
topic.
no respect. They have no respect. And then I think like wow, all of that man did for me or myself and my
Yeah.
brother in our lives, you know, that it taught us a lot of things, and we carry that throughout our lives now, you know, just to respect one another and respect other people as well, because respect takes you a long way. And that's one thing that influenced my upbringing, because I don't think I would have, you know, been that way if it wasn't for that lesson that I've learned throughout my life. Another thing that I could say influenced my upbringing is determination. Like I'm super determined to get things done and to push through and learn new things and whatnot. And it was just because I kept on watching my family do it, you know, like for example, my uncle he used to work in a gym, right? And he was a manager in the gym, you know, he did things. My father managed the way he worked as well. He did things as well. My parents, you know, they always tried to do things to keep us happy and whatnot. So it's more like I've learned things. I'm determined because I was around people that were more like that, you know. So that's basically like two of the things that I've got to say about my upbringing and how I've, you know. Another thing that I've got to say is
He's got a lot to say.
I've got a lot to say about this topic, because there's just so much that
To remember and be
I can
grateful.
remember. Yeah, and you know, to dig into that part in your mind is just crazy. And I wish other people or parents now could teach their kids these kind of things. You know,
No, really do.
yeah, especially things like self love. You know, loving yourself all the time and just being grateful for the small things that you have in life. You know, I'm pretty grateful for everything that I get, and I'm happy when I work and I achieve something
Yeah.
that I can see for myself, because you know, we weren't rich people. We never came from a rich background or anything of the sort. We always just kept on trying and making it and working to get to where you need to be. So that's something I can say I've learned as well.
So, how would you describe your teenage years, like in just a few words? Because I know we did make a video about school, our schooling, and then we made a recent video the other day that like tapped into this more. So, check it out if you want to like know in depth versions of it.
Yeah. So to describe it in a few words, it was awesome. That's what I can say. Those are the few words I can say, you know,
Your teenage years.
my teenage years were kind of dope, you know, because I had like, I was free, you know, I was not working.
Free.
And okay, I can't say, you know, working means you're trapped. You're not trapped. You just can earn money now, you know, and be an adult. But I mean, you know, I used to do like nothing besides have fun. You know,
Yeah.
I used to play with my friends
Live your
outside
life.
every single day. Yeah, live your life, you know, go to the pool, jump in the water, just do things like that. You know, I can just say that it was a dope time of my life, because I never ever could say that I had a bad childhood.
Yeah.
It was really nice. We grew up, we had fun, we had friends that taught us a lot of things, you know, like games and a whole lot of things. mostly games, because that's what we used to do. We used to play a lot of games. And then it used to go into the night, and we stayed in this like complex, right? Um, and in these complexes, it's like a lot of different houses in a gated area. And we had our friends there that we used to call out at a certain time, like as soon as we open our eyes, we probably eat breakfast, get up, and this is like during the holidays or the weekends. And we'd call them out, and we'd like be like, okay, what are we gonna do for like the whole day? And I don't know, one of the guys or friends used to be like, okay, this is what we're gonna do, or they'd be like, okay, let's play hide and go seek or something like that.
This was in teenagers. Like,
Okay, not super teenage years, maybe like when I was 13. My teenage years were different. My teenage years, I used to be in a dance group, right? And that was school. It used to be for a church, and that
yeah, we'll
that
get
wasn't
into
like,
the hobbies later on.
yeah, that wasn't the most fun time. Like my teenage years weren't as fun as the previous years. Like, those were the best years, I can say, my primary school years, because we used to just play games the whole day,
Yeah.
not worry about a thing in the world besides where's my friends, let's go outside, let's play games. We could play soccer, cricket. I didn't like soccer that much because I used to get hurt all the time and kick the ball like not straight, so that was like a weak thing for me. And how about you?
I think that it was very. I just wanted to get over it. I mean, it was like, okay, I don't know. We didn't do anything like crazy because we were mostly in our house. Like,
Yeah.
my parents were a little bit stricter. So it's not like our friends stayed anywhere close to us. And then, like, we used to not leave the yard. So we used to be mostly inside watching TV over at my cousin's house. So most of, like, our thing was this. So I wouldn't understand what you were saying now.
Yeah, well, I think it's different for everyone, because for me, we were in a different kind of area where everyone's houses were
Yeah.
literally attached to each other, and it was different,
But I think generally it was like it was okay. I don't know. It was just okay.
It was just
Like,
okay.
yeah.
You didn't
nothing
have any like
different.
sparking moments at that time.
No, I just wanted to always like get it done with. Because I didn't like getting up in the morning for school. I remember school. Yeah, and I didn't like school.
School was the most a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that for me was like the worst part of it. I hated getting up for school. I absolutely hated getting up for school. I didn't want to get up for school. I used to make excuses, as I said before. Now, other podcasts which you guys should watch, that I just couldn't. But yeah, here we are now. Yeah, so what were your favorite hobbies or activities as a child? Like, did you have any?
I mean, I don't know what you mean by hobbies, but we used to play, like I said, at my cousin's house, and we used to like come up with different games and play soccer, lots of soccer. And if we didn't have a ball, we used to use a 2 liter bottle, is what I remember. And we used to play rugby with it, and I used to like always get hit.
No ways. You used to
Down.
play rugby with a 2 liter bottle.
Yeah,
What? That
With
sounds
all of,
crazy.
like,
How do you like
they
do that?
neighbors.
Doesn't it hurt?
I don't know.
I'd assume it hurts because imagine getting hit with a plastic 2 liter
I
bottle.
don't think it hits you. The people are the one that hits you, like in rugby.
Okay, I don't understand how rugby works.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
And I think mostly that, and obviously playing games on our phones. That was like, I don't know if that's a hobby. Is that a hobby? Because we used to do a lot of that and watch TV.
Yeah, that was nice.
And you?
Well, I used to watch TV a lot when I was growing up. That I could say was like a religious thing that I used to do. There was cartoons that used to come out, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Disney Channel, all of those. We had DSTV that time. If everyone doesn't know what it is, it used to be South Africa's biggest like overseas
Yeah.
cable.
I remember
thing.
they had games
Yeah, they had games and we
that you
used to
can play in the morning. But that's like in primary school. I'm talking about like high school. I don't know if I was so sound of primary school, because primary school is obviously different than high school.
Yeah, well, in high school, in my teenage years, I my favorite hobbies were dancing, right? And music, because I knew how to play instruments and I used to do that often. So that was my favorite. Dancing used to be another favorite hobby of mine because, as I said, I had a dance crew before, and we used to go performing at different shows and talent shows and things like that. And that used to basically be my lifestyle at that time. I just used to worry about things like our dance group and the music that I'm playing all the time. That those were the hobbies that I could say I still bring into today. I mean, I don't dance anymore. That's crazy. I might just break a leg or something. But yeah, those were my hobbies.
So, did you have any dreams or aspirations as a child that influenced your life path?
That influenced the path that I'm on. Well, since we're talking about adolescence age, like 13 up until like 19 or 18, yeah, I did. And it's currently what we're doing now. Um, I used to love music and videos and all of those things, and I think it influenced the person that I am today, because I feel like I'm still doing it right now, but we're just actually doing it. Before it was just thinking about it and dreaming about it and being like, wow, look at those people. I wish, one day I could be like them as well. And now we're here and it's all become a reality because we wanted it. But I honestly wanted to become a graphic designer. That was one of the things that I used to like doing when I was younger, and especially in my teen years, I used to draw a lot. And I always thought of myself as being like, I don't know, some graphic designing guy that does a lot of cool things.
Well, you still do it now.
I still do it now. So it just shows that all of the things that I started when I was younger,
Yeah.
like way younger, like not even 13 or 14 or teenage years, like I'm talking about when I was a small kid, probably 5 or something of the sort. All of the things that I started, I still do now. It's just that I take it serious and
Yeah.
and it became more than just a hobby or anything. But that's one of the dreams that I've had that I'm pursuing now.
So you're basically on the path that you wanted to, but just like on your own.
Yeah, I'm on the path that I wanted to be, just on my own. But not on my own, with you as well.
Yeah.
So we both here hustling and doing this thing.
Hustling.
I don't know if that's the right word to use. I don't know why people keep on saying
Grinding.
hustling. Like, yeah, grinding, because hustling sounds it sounds like, yeah,
Like battling. Like
it really sounds like you're battling, and people say, I'm on that hustle,
we are
hard.
we are that hustle, okay?
Yeah, we are on that hustle, but I mean, like, it just
But in a
sounds worse.
positive way.
In a positive way, the most positive. So yeah, let's
I
get
think
to
mine's
you.
way different because in primary school in primary school till high school, I had like one thing that I told myself I wanted to do, which was become a lawyer. And like I never changed my mind about it. I was just, I want to do it. And like the thing about life is when the time came, nothing worked out for me. Like it was one thing after the other that was causing issues to like stop that from happening. But it like led me to where I supposed to be. And this whole YouTube thing only started because my brother, I think when I finished grade 12 and my dad was sick, and then I didn't study because my brother was studying and we couldn't afford for both of us to study. So we were like, he was like, hey, let's make a YouTube channel. And we were making anime videos, like AMVs, and we were watching anime at the time and playing games and stuff. So we're like, that's where like the idea sparked. And he's like, we're first gonna do this, then later on we're gonna show our face and stuff. And I like remember he was like basically that shaped the whole YouTube dream from happening by just telling me about it.
Yeah.
And like he's like, yeah, later on we're gonna like record our face and do all of those things. Then I'm like, okay, yeah, we're gonna do that. We need this, a camera. And then I was like watching videos about it in that year on how to talk, and I practiced to do it, but I couldn't get the guts to do it until obviously I met you and you bought me a camera, and then like
Now you're
You
doing
help
it.
shaped it, if that helps.
Hey, we can both say we both had the idea, okay, and now we're actually
Mine
doing
was like
it.
later on in life, and I'm
Later
not
on,
like
yeah.
a creative person, and I think it still works now to my favor because you're the creative one, and like, you know, the things I lack in, you do it, and like, yeah.
Yeah, it's more like a partnership, you know? I want my money. That didn't make sense. But yeah, I think that's how a lot of things, you know, like,
At least for you, you're like, I was doing this long, okay, but me, I'm like, nah, it's a recent thing.
no, I've been doing it for long because it's what I like and it's basically the only thing I know how to do. Like, I can learn how to do other things, but just like I said
I'm
earlier in this
useless. I don't
podcast,
know. My brother knows how to. He's a creative one. He knows how to draw and like be
I don't
creative
think
and
you're
stuff like that.
useless.
But like my thing
I
is
don't
just like
think
thinking.
that.
I don't know.
No, you can never say you're useless. You have a role that you play as
Yeah,
well.
true.
You
But it's
bring a
not
lot
about
to
me.
the
It's
table, yeah.
okay.
So those are some of the things from our you know,
That shaped
that
us.
shaped us, yeah. Right, so I got a serious question here for you, right? How did your friendships evolve as you navigated through different stages of your life?
Okay, starting off, I didn't have a lot of friends. I
Yeah.
had like one or two friends in
One or
primary
two, yeah,
school.
that's good.
And then in high school, in grade 8, I remember I was unable to make any friends. So like I was like, I'm just gonna hang with my brother because like he felt sorry for me, and it was hard for me to like ever make friends. So then my primary school, someone that was in my class that was kind of my friend, he was like brought me into his friend group, and like I didn't click with them. I remember I was like, this is not for me, but like I'm just gonna hang here until then. And then the following year, where I met like my still friend, and she was like different from me. She was like my opposite. So she helped me grow a lot in like being with different types of people. And since I didn't go out much and I didn't experience things like that made people mature and grow in certain way, and I think she like my friends just became more and more mature in their thinking and helped me grow. So yeah. And you?
Well, my answer is gonna be very different from yours. I mean, that's
I
that's
already
the
know
point. You
this.
know, we shouldn't have the same answers. But my friends always were never the same from when I was growing up because I never stayed in the same area. We always moved schools, and you know, when you're not in the same area and you're always changing and chopping and changing, it gives you like a fresh
Variety.
restart, but a big variety, yeah, like a huge variety of different people that you can choose to be around and whatever. And I never really liked it that much restarting all of the time. So when I started off, I can't remember much of the friends I had when I was in the first school that I was in. But I know as I went along, there was this primary school that I ended up in, and I had this one friend who was with me all the time. And, you know, we were good friends. You know, we used to play, run around, and all of that. And you know, as time went, I moved to another school and I had new friends. And, you know, I just never had time to say that I evolved with the people that I've been around with because I've always changed. I've always been around different people. But the type of people that I can say is from when I was younger and up until now, like I feel like I could have like a more mature group of people around, you know, that would want to speak more sense and not behave like they're still in school or they're still teenagers and whatnot. And you get people that are still like that now that don't know how to behave like mature adults. Yeah, like not their age, you know, they're like too childish. And it's bad to have people around like that because your goals never correlate and you can't like say
Yeah.
that, you know, we can sit and have a
Because you
conversation
change
about
as people as well.
yeah, it changes. People change, and you can't sit with someone and have a conversation about them that you're not interested in. You know, you're like, really, I'm not like, I don't do all of those kind of things, and that's the funny part about.
That's my whole like existence. I like never have anybody that I can like speak to. Okay, now you obviously, but I mean like
Yeah, I
talking
mean, like
about in the
friends and
past.
people
But
in
like
the past. Yeah, yeah.
I can never say I was myself with people because I was just like on my own thing and they were on their own thing. So I do get what you mean.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, definitely. I get what you mean as well. And that's why I'm saying mine is different. I was never around the same people, and that's the sad part, you know.
It's not sad.
It's crazy. You get to experience different things, but moving around and all, it's a headache.
That part, yeah. But
Yeah,
like, I
it's a
mean, I'm
headache.
sure like your friends were like better as you went along.
As I went around, yeah, they did evolve. I did get better friends. I did meet different people that I found that are better. And you know, my last years of school, my high school years, that's where I ended up in a school where I found people that were more like me, and you know,
Yeah.
it was better. Yeah.
So growing up, did you or your family have any special tradition or routines?
Special traditions or routines. Okay, wait. I think we did have some. We used to all sit and watch the 8 o'clock movie on ETV.
That
Yeah.
was us what we did on Mnet.
You see, we didn't have Mnet, okay? We had ETV and
Yeah.
whatever else. And then we got DSTV. But yeah, that was one of the special traditions or things that I could say that you know, I really liked when we were growing up. We used to all sit around the TV, have supper together, watch the movie that comes on, and it was crazy, you know. I had my brother, my two sisters, my stepdad, my mom over there, and that's what we used to do. Then my granny moved in with us, you know, and that's when she used to do it with us as well.
Yeah.
And it was all just something crazy. And we used to go to places every now and again, you know, as a family. And it was nice, you know. So I can't say traditions, just more like things that we used to do on a regular basis that I could say was really nice, you know. That was one of them that I remember. And for you, what was one of them?
Reminiscing.
Yeah, reminiscing.
You?
Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, I'm trying to get into the memory bank.
I think one of it for us was like we were all forced to sit at the table away from the TV.
Yeah.
And we weren't allowed to like watch TV. I'm like,
Wow, yours is like the opposite of mine.
yeah,
Like
and
we
we'd
used to
all be
watch
like,
TV
okay,
and
we're
eat
gonna
together.
all spend time and we're all gonna talk together now. But like, I think
so
like it was
crazy.
so cool because like now I
Yeah.
miss that, and I'm so glad that we got to do that where we like talk about each other's day, because most of the day we weren't together until like the afternoon, which was like around 6 p.m. So then we would like all would be together, talk, laugh, joke. That was like our kind of routine, I think. And then obviously to visit my auntie and stuff on Sundays.
That was
I think
something
those
I
are
used
like
to
a
do often.
routine thing.
It was a routine thing.
Yeah, it was definitely a routine.
Man, that's cool. That's so cool.
And
Yeah.
obviously Christmas, the whole thing that everybody else does.
Yeah.
And weird traditions. I have an Indian family that are mostly around, and we have a lot of superstitions and stuff that like I told you, and you're like, that's wild.
Yeah,
What else
because I don't
now?
know about those traditions.
I think like
or
let
things,
me just
superstitions.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like most people know the black dot on a baby means like it's from the evil eye, and then
What do you
there's,
mean
like,
it's from the evil eye?
like they put it on the babies to
So they
keep
can
the
have an
evil,
evil
eye
eye.
away from them.
oh,
you know
to
what I mean?
keep the evil eye away from
Yeah, I
them.
hit my mic.
Yeah, it's probably gonna make a boom sound there, but it's okay.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, and then like if you don't like certain type of meat, they're like, oh, somebody put eyes on you, and then they'll turn salt, like stuff like that. I don't
Wait.
know if that's like kind of
Can you tell us
Weird.
what turning salt is? Because up until today, I still don't know what that means.
okay. I don't know if I'm gonna butcher this whole like tradition thing, but like I just assume like they take salt and they like do a thingy like above you, and then like
So they throw
put it into
salt on
water.
top of your
They
head.
don't throw it on you. They just like have it in their hand.
Oh, they have it on their hand and they do that.
Yeah. I wish I learned more because now I can't remember. But like I remember when like my granny,
You're going
if
wild
something
with that
happens
mic.
to us, it's like so close to me. Yeah, like if something happens, she'd be like, "Oh, I need to do this. I need to do that." So like, yeah, those are some that I can remember now. Like I'm put on a spot.
But that's crazy. Eh? A lot of families have their traditions, different ones. Like I know some
Yeah.
families that, like
Oh,
They do a whole
and
lot of
cut,
different
like
things.
Indian children, they have to bald their heads when they're babies.
yeah,
So
I know
it
about
grows
that.
thick, otherwise it's gonna be thin and fall. It's like yeah, there's so many.
Yeah, I have some Indian family as well, and they took my hair out. Okay.
You have to take them
Yeah,
out. It's
yeah.
called dirty hair.
It's called dirty. I saw my baby photos and I was like,
Excuse me,
why
I
did
was
they
also
take my hair
bald.
out? You were bald as well.
Yeah, long
Wow,
ago.
that's crazy.
That's why I have so much hair now. So it works, okay?
Yeah, it works, I guess.
So what values and beliefs were instilled in you when growing up?
Okay, I think I did answer this low key in a style earlier on, but I think the values for me that were instilled in me would be respect, also how to look after yourself as well, because that's another thing that I think people don't know, because they don't know how to look after themselves, so they don't value themselves as much. So that to me is a value. Beliefs, I can say religious beliefs. I'm Christian. That's a belief that I've got.
Is that the question?
It's not the question, but that's just what I'm saying.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, I can't say much, because I mean I don't really think there's much that I can say that were instilled in me from growing up,
That you haven't
besides
said.
that I haven't seen. Yeah. And you? What would be the values that and beliefs that are instilled in you? I'm sure you've got some.
I think one is to be responsible.
Responsibility, yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
I think that was like one that was like really instilled in us, like to be responsible, to know how to take care of ourselves,
Yeah, that's
and
definitely a value.
know
Good value.
what we're doing with ourselves. That was like something really instilled till now. That's why I'm like super responsible. Yeah.
Okay, then I guess everyone has different types of beliefs and values that they've got in their lives, you know. Some people that I know, their values are different. Like some people value money a lot because they've grown up like to value money to the point where they see only money, you know, and
Yeah, it's true.
and that's the main thing. It's like the drive.
Your life, yeah,
your
I don't like that.
Some people have beliefs and values of studying and, you know, being very like
Studying,
competitive and a lot of different types of values and
Were
beliefs.
you like, were your family like, oh, you need to study and stuff like that?
No, they never ever said I need to study. Well, out of school, no, that's like a choice thing. But I think when
What
you
was encouraged, maybe like in that words? What was encouraged of you to do with your life?
throughout my life, my mother kept telling me I'm going to do architecture, architecture, not arcu. Sorry, pronunciation, architecture. And and I don't even know why. Like when I learned about it now, I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like it's not even something
believe
I'd
in
like
you.
to do. Yeah, you know, like I can't
Yeah,
build
I can't see
buildings
it.
and houses and cars and all of those fancy things that architects do. I don't know. I think it's just too like
Not you.
it's not me. It's
More
very
graphic
tedious
design.
work. Yeah, graphic design. You know, I like doing more fun stuff, and to
Mm-hmm.
me, that's not fun. It's boring. No diss to the people that are architects. Sorry, I'm just saying. Like,
Yeah.
I have a different type of thing.
I don't think our parents also like pushed anything on us.
Yeah, they didn't
They were like, whatever you like to do that.
do what you like to do exactly.
Yeah.
And you see, that's the hard part. You know, when you
It
don't
makes you
know.
like, yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
I won't say they were strict when it came to our studies because they never even looked at our reports. Although my mother will swear that she was like on our cases, but to me, I'm like, nah, she wasn't like
wasn't
that
ever on the
bothered.
cases.
And she's like, oh, as long as you're passed.
Yeah, as long as you're past, that's the main thing. Oh my gosh, you know that's crazy. I
Even
remember.
my brother wanted to study. I think in his first year, he actually, when he went to talk to, I don't know what those people called in the college, and they were like, he should do architecture when he just wanted to do like something around drawing. And then the guy convinced him to do architecture, although he ended up not liking it. And then my father, when Kino wanted to leave like in the 3 months that he was there, and he's like, nah, I don't like this and stuff. And then my father was like, no problem, it's fine, just do something else. Like that was like how my father and them were like, they weren't not understanding or forcing us to do things that we didn't want to do. And they own their own business, so obviously they would be like, you do what you want to do, follow your dreams and stuff.
That's very nice. That's something that a lot of people don't have. Supportive parents that are always there, like, yeah, do what you need to do. I'm not gonna shove this thing down your throat. And some people are like living that way, where their parents' beliefs are shoved down their throats and they're not happy, but
The
they have
funny
to do
thing
it.
about like our generation, well, some people, I think like, what do they say now is like, they feel entitled and they're lazy to like do things because the parents went with like that approach that maybe worked for us, but like for some parents, if they were doing the same thing, it didn't work out that well.
Yeah. Not everyone, I think the same approach doesn't work for every single person, because some people might take it differently. They might like take advantage of that and just do the opposite. It's crazy. Yeah, so like, did you have any favorite books or TV shows or anything when you were a kid? Something that we all have when we're small people.
I think all of us can agree it was Cartoon Network.
Cartoon Network, of course.
Cartoon Network, Disney channels. You meant specific shows, right? My brother was like, we used to fight over what to watch. And I remember like he mostly want to watch like boy things to me, but then I was like, okay, fine. So we used to watch like Ben 10 and what else was there?
Classic Ben 10.
Yeah. What else was like, I can't remember right now. But I meant Cartoon Network shows, Disney XD, Nickelodeon. I'm sure like you'll figure it out if you watch it and yourself.
I used to watch a lot of Cartoon Network when I was younger, and before Cartoon Network, no, I think I used to watch Cartoon Network only. I remember all these cartoons that I used to watch, like the Powerpuff Girls, Courage the Cowardly Dog, the regular show, something that came afterwards, like a while later.
I like the regular show and Gumball.
Yeah, those were all of my favorite things. And then I don't know if you remember the Kids Next Door. That was like these.
Yeah, I remember the tree one.
Yeah, they were in like a giant tree.
Yeah, and they had numbers.
And they had numbers. Number one was this bald guy.
I remember the glasses.
With glasses.
Yeah, I remember. I can't remember all the numbers, but I can remember that one. And
I remember number two. Number two was a chubby guy that had like that flying thing. He used to fly. It was the chubby one. But
you remember the numbers and stuff?
I only remember number 1 and 2.
I think I used to hate Power Rangers.
Oh,
for the life of me, I hated it. Oh, you didn't like it too?
I don't like Power Rangers.
I didn't like Power Rangers.
They used to like dubbing Power Rangers for some reason. You'll get Power Rangers in Chinese.
Just to irritate me.
Yeah, they don't look real. They were like fake. Like someone decided to get like toys and record it and then just make it big while they were editing it, and put it in there. I don't like Power Rangers that much either.
I used to like watching Hannah Montana, but my brother like hated it. But like we used to split it and be like, okay, you watch your show, and then like a certain time I remember it used to play, and then I used to watch it.
Hey, when I was small, you couldn't watch Hannah Montana with your friends because they'll call you like, oh, you're a sissy.
There was like so many
Hannah Montana
things. What else was there? I forgot now. Shake It Up.
Do you think those are all girly shows? Like,
well, my brother didn't like it, but like he still would like watch it.
He'd still watch it
with me. If I wasn't there, I don't know if he would, because like he preferred mostly watching Cartoon Network.
I used to watch Hannah Montana when I was alone sometimes.
Ooh,
I don't know why.
I think it was a teen show.
It was like,
I used to like teen shows, and there was this one that was like dubbed Viola or something that like they used to show, and my brother hated that show with all of his being. He could not stand it. He'd leave the room, and like it was because it was dubbed.
It was dubbed.
But I was to follow the story, so I wanted to know what was happening.
Just to follow the story. No, man, these cartoons are so crazy because when you watch or you watch them again many years later, it's like memories. Yeah, I think the other day we were watching.
It's in nostalgia.
Something else, yeah.
That's how it's called. Like, can you remember something old and like live through it?
Yeah, and it's different. It hits differently, because
and now they can't come up with new things.
No, they can't.
They're just remaking our things.
Remaking the older things and trying to make it seem like it's new. I mean, I enjoyed that. I never really had any favorite books because I didn't read. I remember trying to attempt reading once. I tried to read Harry Potter when I was in grade 7.
Oh, yeah,
and it was like this giant novel. It was so thick.
Isn't there like different books?
There's different ones. And I tried to read it. And you know what happened? I didn't read it. I just left it there. I got it from a library. I didn't return the book anyway. So I don't know. That was crazy. You know, what do you do when you don't return books? I mean, and you're small. I was like 13.
A library.
Yeah, a library. I had a
Normally,
library
I think
card.
you have a card and they charge you like in cents.
Yeah, when you don't return it.
Mm-hmm.
But the funny thing is the book's value is high. So
Where's the book now?
where's the book? I don't know. I don't know what happened to that book.
I didn't
I just
read,
watched the movies.
but I remember we had a library in primary school that we were forced to like. It was a lesson, so we had to go there and like read books and pick books, and they allow us to take books. And in our community, we had one. So my auntie used to like take us there and we'd pick books that I don't remember ever reading. But we used to go and pick books. It'd be fun going to pick it, but
Just to
like
pick
I
it,
never
but
read it.
Not reading it, just
No.
like, I'm gonna go and look at this book and be like, It's the thought that counts.
Yeah, you know that
It's
I thought
really
I
the
was gonna
thought.
read it, but I didn't read it.
That's crazy, you know, because I don't like reading books now. I'd only read some
Now I like
self-help
read.
ones.
Yeah, like
Yeah, I can't read
helpful
fantasy.
books. Okay, just to
Let's
like
go to the
switch
next
it up
one
now, since we
That
lost
one went-
track in that question. Got too excited.
Yeah, I mean, I love cartoons, okay? So that was my thing.
Yeah, well now we watch anime. as you
Yeah,
can
we're
see.
still watching
Yeah.
cartoons, but they,
In our
you don't call them
20s.
cartoons.
Yeah,
they
you
call
can't say
anime.
that's called anime.
Really serious.
But yeah, just get more serious now. How would you describe your family dynamic growing up?
We used to move a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you can call that stable. Like, I don't think that's stable.
Yeah.
I don't think that's stable at all. So I don't think we were very stable when it came to like staying in a certain place. We used to move like often. We lived in like 6 different houses while growing up. And that's a lot, you know. Maybe some people be like, what do you mean 6? That's not that much. But it's actually a lot. If you
To
think
me,
about it.
I stayed in like only 2 different houses.
Yeah, and doesn't feel like, wow, that's a lot.
No, I was like so small and like I was.
Can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember much.
Yeah. But aside from that, I can say my family dynamic while growing up was pretty good. You know, we were very close. There was always love and people treated each other nicely and, you know, equal. You know, it was
Yeah.
there was never a favorite, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like in some families they have favorites and all, but nah, that wasn't the case.
Mm-hmm.
We never had a favorite.
Your mother told me once that you were favorite. So I don't know.
Maybe she just hid it, okay? Maybe she just hid it. I don't know, but she didn't treat. Okay, maybe,
No.
maybe,
Joking.
maybe. I don't know, but I'm just saying, like when we were growing
Yeah,
up,
yeah.
no one was treated differently from the other one. Like
Same, yeah.
If you're gonna get beaten up, you're gonna get a hiding with you. Both of y'all, if y'all did something together, and it's gonna be the same force. It's gonna be with a shoe and a belt. Both of us are gonna get it with a shoe and a belt. There's no such thing as okay, you're gonna get a hand and you're gonna get a stick. You know?
Yeah.
That's how it
I
was.
think my mother was
Equal.
like, there's only 2 of us. And like, if one of us
There was 4
do
of us.
something wrong,
Yeah.
we both get punished. Whether the other were involved or not, it's just because like, we were supposed to be a team. So she's like, if you did this, where were you? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So like,
yeah.
that's how. And we were treated equally, despite
Yeah.
us being like different gender. Like cleaning, doing hard labor, it was like evened out.
It was even out.
Yeah,
There was no
wasn't
such
like
as a okay, you're a girl and you don't have to do this. And
yeah, because like I said earlier, like my parents were like, you'll need to be able to survive. You'll need to be able to be okay if we not here. You'll need to be able to be fine when you grow up. So even when it came to me and doing more guy stuff or fixing a vehicle or carrying things, my father was like, yeah, learn to do that. Learn outside, change a tire, do all of those things.
I think that's a good thing to teach your kids, especially if it's a girl. So you don't have to like ever depend
But I
or
think
be
like
stuck,
overall we were stable.
stable.
Yeah.
I don't say we were not stable. I just mean like staying in different houses, like that's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I wouldn't want to do that now in this age. I don't want to move everywhere like live in this house, and then oh no, now I have to go to another one. You know, like if you're
But
gonna
some
settle,
things
settle.
happens, I guess.
No, things happen. They do happen, and that was the thing, you know. But yeah, my family dynamic when growing up, it was pretty good. Everyone was nice to each
That's
other, and there was love and
that's good.
equality and a whole lot of those things that I just said earlier. Yeah, that's about it. Okay, so were there any challenges you faced while growing up that shaped who you are today?
So many questions I feel like are answered, but I don't know. Like growing up means like after like in my teens or
Well, we can say from your teens up until now, because your teenage years are the most important years. That's where you learn a lot from how you become now. I think, I don't know. Might be true, it might not.
yeah, I think mostly like the most drastic change that happened to us is obviously my father passing away, because like I said before, we were
Yeah,
all
yeah.
so close and we had routines and things that we did, so it like shoved me to, I don't know, the better place, but it did change how I think now, and I'm more like I need to live life to the fullest and like try to be nice to the people that are around me, and hopefully we all have fun together. I don't know.
No, that's definitely something that I think can shift your whole mental
Yeah.
state and everything, and change how you see things, you know? Because, I mean,
But that's like a conversation on its own. We're not getting emotional. You can just
yeah,
answer
we
it.
won't get into that. Well, for me, I can say what shifted the way I am today. I can't really say much about it because there's so many things that I can't pinpoint, like the person I am today, you know, or anything that shaped how I am today. It's mostly the upbringing, you know, the things that I mentioned earlier. It's my upbringing that made me how I am today. It's a lot of that, and a lot of my school situations, and a lot of life situations where I've been thrown in different things and had to learn and figure it out on my own. And that's how some people are, or most people. You have to learn how to deal with certain things on your own and grow on your own. And that's the hard part. It's the hardest because you make like
Yeah.
a million mistakes along the way, and then you find out later that, you know, those mistakes led up to something. Even though they're mistakes, you know, can't take them back, can't take anything back, you can't do a lot of different things.
You got your own thing, yeah.
Yeah. But that's what
yeah.
shaped my life, you know.
He's getting in his feels, guys. This is
Nah,
like
I'm
therapy,
just-
like I've been saying.
I'm just saying that's just my thought process, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's
Okay,
it.
let's ask the final question and we can close up this
Yeah, let's go to
very
the
long
final one.
podcast.
This is the
If it
longest.
is long, you have to like, you're forced to subscribe at this point. That means you like us that much that you're like stuck
Yeah,
around for
that's
this
very
long.
true. And you're hearing us, hearing our voices in your head. That's crazy.
Okay.
Don't forget to
so-
subscribe, guys, for the third time. I'm pretty sure it's the third time I said that.
You don't have to tell them that so many times. Okay. I know. So, growing up, did you have any role models or influential figures during like your whole growing up things, like yeah, primary school, high school?
Yeah, I think my role models were, I had three, right, that I looked up to. It was my uncle, right? That's my mother's brother, my stepdad, and my dad. The three of them, because they were all different in a certain kind of way. Each one of them had different characteristics, and I looked up to it, and I wanted to be more like those people, but combined. You know? Did you hear that? So yeah, that's basically what I can say. Like each person taught me something different.
Yeah.
Like my uncle taught me how to be a very chatty person that's hyped
You're
up
very
and
chatty, and his uncle is very
extremely
chatty. I met
yeah
him.
yeah, he taught me a lot of that, right? My stepdad taught me respect and you know, just a little bit of discipline here and there. My father taught me a whole lot of different things that I can't even mention. you know, like a whole lot of different things, good things, you know. So, yeah, those are the 3 role models I had in my life. My biggest role model, though, my 4th one is
It's
my mother.
Raisa.
Oh, she is my biggest role model, right?
I said growing up, I don't know you.
Oh, yeah, growing up, yeah, not growing up, but right now you're my biggest role model, okay?
Such
I
a
look up to you.
such a
That's true.
liar.
It's not a lie.
He's a
I
liar.
ain't lying about it.
But yeah, your mother.
She's my biggest role model because she was a very nice person, is a very nice person, very encouraging lady, very loving lady, very understanding. There's a lot of things I can say.
No, it's just a speech.
Yeah,
You were like,
it's not a speech. I'm just saying role models. I had 4, but mostly the 3 male figures I had.
Yeah.
Those were the ones. Yeah,
because you're a boy.
yeah, that's it, definitely. And for you, what would you think?
I think my brother and my father. Yeah.
Yeah.
I looked up to my brothers a lot, and like I stayed away from trouble just because I thought he wasn't doing it. So I was like, okay, if I don't see him doing it, I'm not doing it. Because we were so close, like throughout our childhood, like everything that, like my parents, by them like making us be a team throughout our childhood, like it carried on till now because he was like older than me. So
Yeah.
always were looking up to him, and that's why he influenced a lot of my decisions when growing up. And obviously my father, because like he's dope. But I feel like my father's not somebody I can live up to because I feel like he's all the way up there. So like for me, it's like very difficult to live up to his standards.
No, that's
but
very
he's
true.
he
Yeah.
was a very, very good man, and I hope to also be remembered as a good and humble person that like made people feel special.
I
So,
think
yeah.
you're really on the right track with that, eh?
Aw, I don't think so.
I
But
think
I
you
feel
are.
like I'm more like my mother, who's like stern and strict, and like I'll say what I mean. But I'm like a mixture. I don't know. Oh, and lastly, my granny, because like from such a young age, she's been so strong, and when her mother died and stuff, like for the whole of her life, she's been working so hard.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
she's also, I'm like, yeah, woman power.
She's one of the big role models in your
Mm-hmm.
life. Oh, that's good. That's good.
There's so many. I don't miss anybody because then if they watch the video, they're gonna be like, "Oh, you didn't mention me."
That's how I feel when I was mentioning names.
I never mentioned my mother. Yeah, my mother's like so strong as well. Like we have strong women in our family. Okay, so that's
Will do.
just to tie this up.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
to tie it up. Well,
Thank you guys
that
for
was
watching.
a crazy podcast. Yeah, thanks for watching this long podcast, guys. Whoever stayed with us.
I'm really like using the most of all of my words that I needed in this life in
Oof,
this
That's
podcast.
very true, and so am I. But we're getting through it, eh?
And you can check out some of the other podcasts that we did over here. It'll be check it out and let us know what you'd want us to speak about next. And that's it for this one. Bye.
Bye.